Slot Car Chat on Zoom number 281. I'm your host, Greg Gal. The gang's all here with Tony and Don and Dale and Jeremy and Mike and John and Dewan and owner Courtney. And Big Den is back. Excellent. So we got some things to talk about. Uh, Jeremy had his hand up a minute ago, but maybe he'll talk again later. Let's start with show and tell. Does anybody have anything they want to show and tell? Raise your hand, wave in front of the camera. If not, then we'll move on. John, got your hand up? Go ahead.
Gosh, that was quick.
You're the
Well,
only one
okay.
with a
Well,
hand up.
I'm kind of a continuation of last week because we talked about Atlantis and their models and stuff, and I saw that someone had actually commented. I'm sure you saw this as well, Greg, from our show last week, who actually works for Atlantis, which I thought was really, really cool. But anyway, I digress. So I went to my local hobby store again, and they got some new stuff in. And I thought that I would. Oh, hang on. Oops. One moment, caller. I have to get the right pictures up. Sorry. Okay, a little bit. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. There we go. Okay. So talked about how Atlantis was reissuing and repopping a lot of the monogram stuff. Well, one of the cars that believe it or not, I don't have is this. This was the original issue from Monogram of a 71 Trans Am. Well, Atlantis has reissued it, and there it is. Of course, they use
That's
a real picture. Sorry, go ahead.
that's cool.
Yeah, very cool. So I couldn't resist. I actually bought it. And open it up, and oh my gosh, it's, you know what? There's like there's no flash on the on the castings at all. Like they look how good they look. They're really nice and crisp. Just do a great job. So I've got the glass on it. It's tough to see the glass in there. Chrome sprue, and then a one-piece body interior. And I didn't realize this, that the hood actually goes up and down. So you can do a detailed engine if you want as well, or not, or you know, it's really good. I just thought I'd show a close up of the engine, and you know, the brake cylinders there. It's really a great little kit. So I'm you know, because
How
you can
much do
never have.
those cost, John? What's the MSRP on those? Do you
I
know?
don't know what the US is, but in
Ballpark
Canada,
it.
yeah, I paid 35 Canadian plus tax, so close to $40 Canadian. So I imagine
All right.
that's what, about 29,
Sure. Yeah,
$28 US.
30-ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Which
was
is,
just looking to see if that would be a good alternative for scale electric Trans Am, if they would fit on some of the chassis and
what?
just for some diversity.
Well, that's just it. You know what? To your point, I didn't see, because the chassis it should fit would be the 73 Camaro, right?
And the 71 Camaro. Yeah.
Yeah. That it should fit the same, but it's the challenge though is it doesn't have flared rear fenders like the Camaro does. So
Mm.
you may have to play with the tire width a little bit. But oh my gosh, it's a really nice little kit. So I just thought
Yeah,
I'd follow up. And of
that
course,
was
yeah.
gonna be my question to you, John. Were you planning on turning it into a slot car? And if so, what were you gonna put under it?
Oh, I'll probably build a brass chassis, and knowing me, with that I'll probably do a sidewinder so I could actually have the hood open.
Mhm.
And it'd probably be a street car, to be honest, because I mean, you don't have to, not everything has to be a race car, right?
That's my cup of tea.
Yeah,
Actually,
make it fun. And put a
yes,
couple in, you know, like put a male and a female figure in and have some fun with it.
absolutely.
So yeah, I'm piling up all these things for you know, the nasty weather that we usually get up here, but right now the weather's just too nice to stay in. I mean, it's even, I should have been out on the deck doing this. And that's it.
But Jeremy, you're referring to putting a electric 73 Camaro chassis under it?
Yeah, in our club, when we race electric Trans Ams, the 71 Camaro is pretty much the car everybody wants to use. So there's not a lot of variety. But that front end looks like that same Camaro. It would just be kind of cool if that fit, the width and length, just for some something else
Right.
to see instead of Camaro Palooza. I'd like to see something else on the track every once in a while.
Well, you know
So
what?
the
What I'll
rules
do is, sorry. To your point, Jeremy, when everyone's done their show and tell, I'll run down. I've got a Camaro handy, and I'll see how it works
Cool. Thanks.
live on the air. How's that sound?
Exclusive.
You betcha.
Love it.
Jeremy, do your rules allow you to switch the bodies like that and use the other chassis?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good thing.
Yeah. As long as it fits the original chassis, you're fine.
Yeah, I'd love to have something like that around my track. Love it.
It's a good idea.
Well, the other thing too is what I'm really getting excited about. There's so many great 32nd scale models of different years of the same car. Like, so you've got the Revell original Firebird. Now you've got the 71 Firebird. I think there's a later Firebird as well, like a 78 or something from Monogram in the same scale. And of course, the one with the closed headlights as well. So that was like what, 92 or 91, 92, somewhere around there. Anyway, that's really neat. You can do the same thing with T-Birds too, because Carrera's got a 56, Revell has a 57, the 62 from AMT, there's a 63 from Gunzi Sanjo. It's the mind races.
There's a 62, a 60 T-Bird.
Yeah, that's the AMT, right? Yeah. So that would be fun to do. You could just do like a whole, I don't know, like a used car lot.
No, vintage car lot.
Vintage car lot. Yeah. Never mind. I actually at Model Show, I actually found an original old Aurora Batmobile that is in terrible shape. So I was actually going to like build a used car lot on my racetrack and then put that one like for sale, only driven at night.
Yeah, we have a lot of things in common, John.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I wait till you see that Batcopter. I think you're gonna enjoy it.
Oh gosh. I was tempted to buy it, but it was too much of a larger scale. Oh, which one did you get? The
Oh, the
Corgi?
132nd scale Bell. What the heck is it called?
Oh yeah, you were gonna take the Bell helicopter and turn it into a Batmobile. Okay, no, I found the Batcopter itself, but it was like 1/20th scale or 1/24th scale, which is way too big.
Oh, way too big. Yeah. No, this one is the scale because I built one already for our track and have it as a
Wow.
camera helicopter. But it's really interesting too. If you also watched the Green Hornet, which I'm sure you did,
Yeah,
they used the same helicopter. It had the same registration number, and that helicopter is still flying, believe it or not. And the person who owns it has it as the Batcopter, which is very cool.
Wow. Okay, great.
Problem is,
Great.
Burt Ward's too big now to get in it.
I'm gonna reach out to Bert. You know that.
Yeah, you should. You should. You know
I
what?
really am.
Especially if you have a dog. You know about
Yep,
his.
yep.
Yeah.
That was part of it. That's two big dogs.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's done great work there. Yep.
Let's see if I can get him to come out to Las Vegas.
Oh, of course. I just offer him food. I'm
Up for
sure.
a meal. Okay.
All right,
Oh,
are we done with
yeah.
that,
No.
folks?
So yeah, that's lots of fun. Sorry.
Moving on. What you got, Big Den?
Good morning. Oh, good morning from me here. Anyway, it's not too warm to go outside for me. It's about 10 degrees, which is about 7 more than what it was last time I spoke to you. So, okay, yes, just a couple of little things I've acquired and updates on something I was showed probably earlier. So I'm going to, if I can get this out of the way, I'll do a share. Okay. You may remember last time I was on, I'd acquired a few 24 scale bits and pieces. And so I was sort of looking for an easy fix for a chassis to go under. So aforementioned bits and pieces. And so I bought this H&R brass chassis, adjustable chassis.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you'll notice towards the back here, you'll notice some blobs of solder and things, and I'll show you why in a moment. So this is an update of the H&R chassis. It's it used to have a wire brace that went from the the bearing uprights over to the motor plate. They've since replaced it with what Harry on Home Racing World calls a bulkhead. So moving on to the next picture. I never understand why my keyboard arrows don't work. Okay. This is a picture just lifted from the website, so it's not the same chassis. You'll notice here that the bulkhead, the motor plate solders to the bulkhead here. The one I got, the bulkhead was overlapping. So, the resultant was that the motor was canted down at about 15 degrees, which resulted in a terrible gear mesh. So that that modification I've got there was just rather than desolder the bulkhead and reposition it all, I just cut through it and just bent the motor tab back up to so that it lined up nicely. And
Yeah.
oh, who was that?
That was a updated chassis, H&R chassis, or was that do you have the older or the newer chassis that have that?
That's the new one, Duane, because the old one was just a piano wire brace
Okay.
that went from the upright to the back of the plate, then back across the other side, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah,
yes,
interrupt.
yeah. So
Well,
that's just another look.
I had used the older ones for doing the Mach 5 and the Racer X cars. That's what I have
Oh yeah,
underneath.
yeah.
So I'm wondering, and I
Yeah.
had several more to make. I didn't know that they changed the chassis. So okay, continue. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's okay, mate. Yeah, no, I'm quite happy to answer the question. So you can see there where it's definitely my soldering isn't Samson-esque. It's a little bit rough, but I'll clean it up possibly just to make it look a little bit better. And that's just an overhead view of where I've done I sort of cut the bulkhead through here, and then just put just enough to push the plate back and make it make it vertical. So next picture, and you just see now that the motor is horizontal rather than pointing down at about 15 degrees. Now this is where rehearsals from the chat come in quite handy, because John and I have been coordinating, and I'm putting the Firebird chassis Firebird body that I showed last time is the one I'm likely to put on that chassis. So that's it's just sitting on there for the photos, and there's no with the motor mounts are built in, but then there are special little mounting plates that come with the H&R kit, and I'll eventually put them all together. But the first thing I want to do is strip the body and paint it another color, which will probably be the Jerry Titus white and blue color scheme, because Pato makes decals for those.
So where'd you get the body from? Is that from a 124 scale model?
No, it's from a friend in the south of the state. One of my trips down about a month ago, he was just getting rid of some 24th scale stuff. He's well into his 80s now, and he thought it was about time he started cleaning some stuff out. And I literally paid ten of dollars for that body. So I thought that was a reasonable pickup.
So okay. Is it it's not a molded. It's not a molded body. Is that what do you call it? Well, okay. What type of material is the body made out of?
It's plastic. It's a plastic kit body.
Okay.
It's not Lexan or anything like that. No. No. Okay, now we should be on to a new subject. I think several months ago I got some decals from Pato to put on my new NSR Lola T280. So that's how it's come up. I still need to put the the roll bar and the carby stacked or the covers back on, but I just thought I'd show you how the completed body came up. I probably need to work on the driver too. He looks a bit hazy there, so that's this car, when I ran it the first couple of times, it definitely, and I think Jim's on the chat there, but you definitely need both motor screws in to hold the motor in, and probably I think gluing as well, because I ran it initially with just one motor screw there, and it was hopping, like literally like a kangaroo there. Even though the motor was securely fixed on one side, there was enough flex to allow it the pinion to try and ride up over the top of the spur gear and make a horrible vibration, wheel tramping.
Well, I have to say, with the color of your setup block, it looked like cheese on a cracker.
Yeah. Well, it is actually a Swiss cheese color scheme. No, these are purported to be the holes in the cheese, I think, John. So
Exactly. There you go. Yeah.
yeah,
And what kind of chassis do you have below it?
it's a standard NSR Lola T280 chassis.
Okay. Just okay.
Yep. Yeah, nothing. Maybe a little bit of weight on it, but I haven't really run it in anger to get times and things with it yet. So okay, so moving on now. A couple of the guys have decided to branch out into faster things, and they've got these new JK Hawk powered little chassis and things. Local cost for them about $170. I thought, well, if I'm going to get in and play with them, I'm not going to be spending any, $170, $180. So my mate Phil in Hobart found me one of the old Flexi Womp chassis, and so I'll have a little bit of a play around that. I had a body there that were already fitted, so I'll paint that up and see how I go. But I'm not going to be overly upset if I'm not competitive with those guys. So anyway, just something so I can join in and have a bit of a fun run with them. This is I'm not running gears on both sides or anything there. That's just the spacing to get the tires, and also I'll probably be running it with a motor when I get it running. So before you say anything, John Kidd. Okay, so that's about the end of my show. Until I may catch up with you again in the club corner.
How well do those JK cars run on flat tracks? Because I know I've seen them a lot on the bank tracks and things like that. But on a flat track, would they?
Yeah, like okay. Our local track owner Dave, he's been running his around now. The fastest car in racing so far has been his NSR 86, 89 car, Formula One.
Yeah, that's one.
And it's done just over, he's had that set up pretty well and for a while. And he's just done a thousandth or two over 5 seconds even. And he runs this new thing round in 5.1s and 5.2s literally effortlessly. So I reckon it'll go well under the. And remember, we've only got a 60-foot track or thereabouts, and it's got quite a few, like twists and turns in it. It's not sort of the flat track like Samson, not Samson, the Electric Dreams Raceway, Cunningham, but the bend's a lot tighter. So it'll be interesting to see when we have a bit of a play with what they do when people start to get serious about it. So okay, then well, back to you, Greg.
Alrighty, thank you, sir. Good looking projects going on there. Before moving on to Jeremy, Tony Tibbs on YouTube wants to know from Tony Petrucci, do you live in Petersfield? Your microphone is off, so you're going to either have to nod or shake.
Sorry, I live in Southeast London.
Southeast London. Okay,
Yeah.
He thought he saw you coming out of his barber shop. So
A place called.
you got a
I used to
doppelganger
live
out
in a
there.
place called the Elephant and Castle. But I've moved out to Forest Hill now.
Mystery solved. All right, thank you, sir. And moving on to Jeremy, what you got?
All right. On sale at Amazon for $168. I couldn't pass it up. I am now a Carrera hybrid driver. Now I know you're thinking. Oh no, I actually don't know what you're thinking. But $168, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna try it out.
What I'm thinking is we'll actually get an honest appraisal of it.
Oh yeah, I'll give you the full deets. Now I'm gonna share a picture here. I took it out, put it on my 4 foot by 8 foot table. and I wound up. This is the 8-foot table with the track on it. You can see actual 1/32 scale slot cars over here. I didn't have enough room to build anything but this layout. I mean, I could have just built a straight circle, but this is about as complicated as I could fit. It was a little bigger than I thought it would be. So that was interesting. As I've taken the car apart, there's very limited tuning that you can do with it, obviously, because it's so small. But
Hello.
I need to come up with a way. Like here's the car, obviously, compared to
Hold on.
1/32 scale fly is a little bit different. The
That's
bottom,
about
you
okay.
obviously plug it into the USB to charge. The sensor here reads on the track. I've noticed the track, when you look through the light, it has bars that run through it. And there's a thin bar down here, and it comes up to like a larger triangle on this side. So I think that's how the car figures out, oh, I'm too close to the right side because the bars are bigger. And so then
Yeah.
it'll move. So you build your track, you put the car on, and you tell it to find the track, and it drives around your track by itself, laying out your layout, and then it has a complete idea of what your track is. So when you start driving, it knows which section you're in based on where the start line is, because the start line has its own sensor too.
Yeah.
The other thing that was kind of a happy coincidence is that I have a bunch of controllers for the kids' video game systems that also work with Android. So I found two of these that actually work with the system. I didn't have to go out and buy anything extra. For driving, it's very weird. When I turned off, I didn't want any of the automation, the because you can just put the car on track, give it gas, and it'll drive itself in the worst possible way, but it'll make it around it. So I turned that completely off, and I got to be honest, it was nearly impossible to drive because it's like you can go from 0 to start, and it shows you like your relative speed, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, it goes up. You don't realize, but you're hitting this, the turns at 80 miles an hour. And so it has understeer and it just keeps going. And then I kind of started to teach myself, oh, I have to brake here like a real race. I can't just whip that corner. And so that's the hard part is hitting the corners, hitting the brake, making your turn so you don't understeer, and then coming back. So it's I know it's not slot cars, but with the computer aided assist, it does what the slot is supposed to do. It keeps you where you're supposed to go, so you don't got to think about that. So in a way, I mean, technically it's very similar in that regard, but the cars are cool. I haven't got a chance to race with it yet. I mean, I've only had it a few days. But looking through some of the German sites, there are already hundreds of files because I guess they got this in Germany like a year ago because the guy who's making videos on it is from last year. And I went through their files section and just found tons of stuff they're already doing with it. So,
Like
the analog sticks. Here's what's interesting. I reached out to Wayne because he has a lot of RC experience, and I asked him about some of the controllers, like the RC guys use with the wheel.
Yeah.
But there are none that will go over Bluetooth. But on the German site, they showed there's a module that you can plug in, and then you can have that type of joystick with the Carrera working. And you think, oh, that's awesome. Then you can, but it's not. Here's why. Because when you go to turn and you have an analog stick here, it's only like 10 millimeters to go from 0 to full right. But on that that thing, you got to go way over here to get a sharp turn. So he was comparing his speeds, and it was a little faster with a joystick. The other options are to use your phone with like fake joysticks on the screen, or to use it with just a brake and a gas button and then tip the screen. So you can kind of like the old Nintendo Wii kind of controllers. You can still use your phone like this if you want to. So so far it's kind of cool. I mean, it's obviously not slot cars. It's not RC. It's somewhere in the middle. But the only problem I found, if I had to give it a review right now, is that let me share this. Sorry, the corners. This is the highway starter track pack. You get a bunch of straights. You get a lot of these. I don't know what they're calling it, where the red is on the inside. You get 2 of these for the red on the outside. So there's a difference. But what I don't like is that after you come off the straight, there's no way to get to this point right here, like was that 90 degree or 45 degree? I just want to come straight down this way, but you can only go in angles or completely around. They should have cut one of these in half, but I don't know what their plans are for the future. But that would have given me the ability to put a little straight in here and then come back around or something. But as it is right now, that's the only thing I don't really like is that their turn selections. I think they kind of screwed that up.
That's the Carrera method is 60-degree pieces rather than 45-degree pieces.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, you can drive the cars without the track, but they are hard to drive. So beware that you'll have to build up that skill set.
Yeah, we
I haven't
on
taken one
some
apart.
we put those in what I called guided slotless. So there's
Yeah.
no guide in a slot, but the cars are retained on the track by some other method. Like in this case, a sensor in the car is reading the track. Um, 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 I forget the name of it, but Hot Wheels did a Hot Wheels AI where the cars
Yeah.
were also reading the track based on a gradient on the track. There's mag racing where the guide is actually a magnet following a steel rail embedded in the wood. Um, there's a couple other things that fall into that category, but that's literally the only thing that makes them any at all similar to spot cars.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to come out with a few new cars, like a BMW and a Mustang that I saw a
Yeah.
preview of. Once those come out, I'll try to get those, and then I'll take the car apart. I'm afraid to take one apart now in case I break it, then I'll be down to one car. But
Yeah.
once I get a few more underhand, then I'll start seeing what kind of tuning can happen on it. Because the gears, I should be able to break the gears in a little better and see how it all works. But it does work with the analog turning. It's not just on or off. Like
Yeah.
we first thought maybe you can go analog to any degree that it'll go. So it is a little more realistic than just left, right, and that's it. So the same thing with the throttle. The throttle, you can just barely touch it for 10 miles an hour or full out. And it gives you gear shifts. Like you can hear it in the program when it's going. You won't feel it obviously because you're not driving it, but you'll hear, and then you can hear where it's making its shift points at. So
I've seen a
brakes
few
work.
videos. The thing that bothered me with the gear shifting noise is that uh, even if you're going through a turn and slowing down, the gear shifting noise was going up. Like
I
it
didn't notice
wasn't.
that, but
I mean, maybe
maybe
it was just how the person was driving, or maybe they overlaid audio because the live audio was not good enough. But I think Charles posted a video of him of it was yeah, he posted a video of his car going around, not him driving. It was just the AI driving self-driving the car around. And even at the slow speed of this, scale miles per hour, it was not the gear shifting was not actually coordinated with the car very precisely. I mean, it was changing, right? It would shift down if you messed up your turn as like an indicator that you messed up your turn, but it was still doing gear shifting up noises through turns. It didn't like go to
Unrealistic.
yeah.
Yeah, unrealistic.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't as bad as that. There's a couple of slot cars out there that basically just run through gears constantly. Those it wasn't that bad. So
yeah. Some of the negatives is that if you're gonna drive, you have to have your phone. So it makes it a little harder to have an event. Like if I want to take this to one of our school events that we host or church, everybody has to have their own phone and then pair the car. I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's annoying. And then you have to log into the Carrera app, and then there's like passwords. And it's like I would rather have just had. I was hoping it was just one box that goes with the track. That's like a master control box, but instead your phone is your own master control. But
yeah.
when you hit the race, anybody on the same Wi-Fi can then join that race, so it knows where you are. I don't know. Did you see that video where you start your grid? Um, there's a video from the German guys. It's hard to understand what they're saying. They speak a different language, it turns out. But they set the grid and did qualifying laps. And then before the race starts, all the cars, the computer or your phones, put the cars going around the track and they all get in line and then they all go to the right positions, first, second, third, staggering start, and then the race starts. So that was kind of interesting. The video opportunities are really cool with it, but how much racing opportunity it is, I don't know. I guess time will
So
tell.
so
Now,
you've
what
got
can you
multiple
can
phones in
you
your household. Hold on, Duan. You've got multiple phones in your household. You've already had at least two phones racing, I assume.
Yeah, I have a tablet that I use for it, but yeah.
Okay, so were you able to use the same Carrera hybrid account on both devices?
Yeah, on mine I was. So yeah, I guess
On
yeah, I
your
could take
on your
four
two
phones.
devices.
Yeah, yeah. I'm logged in the same my account's logged in on both devices at the same time. So it
And
doesn't
you
say
were able
one
to
account
drive two
only.
cars.
Yeah, I was able to draw up two. Yeah.
So if you really wanted to do events, you could just
Bring
go
4
get
phones.
yeah, just go get cheap pay-as-you-go phones and don't
Oh, you
get
know what?
them.
Actually, we got new phones, like 2 years ago on a new contract. I didn't throw those phones away. Maybe I'll go break those out and see if they work on older
I was
versions.
gonna say if you haven't been charging them, they probably don't work anymore.
Oh, maybe.
If you don't keep the charge going. Uh, yeah, but you can totally get. I mean, I did this for a laser tag thing a while ago that had a similar. It had an app that you had to use in order to even play with the toy, which I
Yeah.
hate. But even back then, you could go to Best Buy or wherever and get a $20, monthly pay phone and just don't activate it. Just use it as a cheap, mini tablet
Sure.
smart device for this kind of
Off
thing.
Wi-Fi. Yeah.
And only having to do one account. I mean, if you had all the phones yourself, you could do multiple accounts if you really needed to. But it's nice that you can use the same account on multiple devices for the same race.
Tires and rims. I mean, the tires actually have, I don't know if they're rubber, but they have an actual rim. I don't know if you can see that. Well,
But,
probably not good lighting. It has the front. You can kind of see a little bit of that shadow on the side. I mean, it
Yeah.
looks like a regular slot car wheel. So since it has that rib, you could make tires for it. I don't know what these are. I can't. You can only see a little bit. Lighting sucks and my forehead's too big.
But yeah,
All
it's
right.
like a stock car wheel.
It's like a
Well,
slot car hub. So maybe someday somebody will come out with it because like right now, you get a little bit of dust and these do get slippery, but they give you a little silicone pad to drive over that all
Yeah.
the dust sticks to the silicone.
Yeah.
So there's opportunities here. How much? I don't know.
Well, my question goes back to the use of your cell phone. Does
Yeah.
the app turn off the usage of the cell phone so that if you're in the middle of a race, a call comes in?
I haven't had a call yet. I don't know.
I would expect that would be up to you to make sure you turn off your cell service or whatever, or just
Okay.
ignore any calls that come in while you're playing the game.
It does have a
It's
keep
certainly not going
alive,
to
so it
do
keeps
that.
my screen on.
It's certainly not going to bypass, or it's certainly not going to mute your phone for you without you telling it to, right? Imagine the freaked out people like, I missed an important call because I was playing with my son.
Yeah. And that's considered 1/43rd scale.
It
I think it's
looks like it.
1/50th. I think it's 1/50th. It's a little bit different than 1/43rd.
Okay.
So one thing that would be interesting is you'd have to worry about the compounds of tires, both front and rear, on this, considering what you're talking about with the understeer problem. You might be
Yeah, you
better
got to
off
keep that.
having
Yeah.
better
I have to
traction
clean the front
to
tires a lot. You're right, because you hit that corner and your understeer does get affected by clean tires.
Yeah,
Do you
clean
think
them
they're
and
the same
also
size
use
as the
different
Carrera
compounds
Go?
maybe to test it.
Yeah. As soon as somebody makes some tires, we'll get some tests in.
Do you
What-
think they're the same size as the Carrera Go cars?
I've got some Mario Kart ones. I'll go check that in a minute. See if they're the same size.
Well, tell me the wheelbase. Don't do it. Don't.
Yeah, I don't
I'll
want to
just
take it on
tell
the cart.
It looked pretty close, but yeah, it also
I'll
looked
take
like
a
it
look.
might,
I've got a bunch of little Mario Karts. I've got like every one they've ever made, and
it looked like it
1/43rd.
might be a
Or
little bit bigger than Go, but not
looks
by
like it.
much.
I'll let you know.
63 millimeters.
All right.
But like I said,
I'm gonna go with 1/64 scale. What is go?
No, Go is 1/43rd.
It is 1/43rd?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right, and just like scale auto hypercars are 132.
I mean, that's what they say, right?
Relative.
maybe I should reach out to some slot car tire manufacturers that make these in silicone and see if they have any plans for it. But who knows?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
ask them if
called
they do
it's
any
called
Carrera Go tires. If they do Carrera Go tires, then there might be some that actually fit those cars.
Yeah, I just gotta get the rib dimensions and
Yeah.
see what. Yeah, good point. That's
yeah,
that's my
it's
review.
called I was gonna say it's called a nominal scale.
Ish.
But so far, so good. Everybody who's ever come over that was not a slot car enthusiast the first, like when you tell them, oh, I race slot cars, and they always ask, what is that? And you say, well, I race these cars, it's on a track. And then they see and they're like, wait, you don't steer the car? And I'm like, no. But there's an opportunity where, yeah, you do steer the car. So it's kind of, it's similar. That's always the first question anybody's ever asked is that doesn't understand slot cars is why is it stuck in that guide? So you have to kind of explain to them.
Is it possible to remap the controller buttons? Like does it
If you want
use
gas on the left or something, or instead of A or B.
brakes on X or whatever?
I
Yeah.
haven't seen anything like that. I can dig a little deeper, but I haven't seen any way to move the
Is
buttons
there
around.
is there an app for the game controller, like a helper app for the game controller itself?
There
Separate
might be
from
an Android one that can change it because it's just Bluetooth. It's just generic Android code that it uses for any Android compatible device.
Yeah.
By default, it's using gas brake or gas brake and then steering left or right on either analog stick. But yeah, I bet I could look at some of the apps that remap that for you.
Yeah.
But then again, I start doing that, then I got to try to remember, you know,
I
this
mean,
one's
the
mapped
reason
to
I ask
that.
is because it seemed a lot like video game control, car racing controls using that kind of controller. And I remember hating trying to use, my finger for acceleration and my other
Yeah.
finger for brake and my thumb for steering. But I could
Hmm.
use my right side trigger for acceleration and then X for braking, and then just
Yeah.
worry
So,
about steering with my other hand. So being able to remap for personal preferences would definitely help ease the ergonomics in for people.
maybe. But right now, the top buttons, these are analog because you can pull them
Yep.
slower. These ones are on and off, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could probably be done. I haven't looked at it, but if I find anything, I will post it.
I mean, it sounds like, I don't know, maybe it goes in depth enough for a little bit of brakes to be better than full brakes, but I mean, it seems like you basically want to just be going full tilt and then slam on the brakes and then turn in to get the
Well,
best.
there are brake adjustments you can make depending on that's in the options that you like. So you can
Mhm.
do a little bit of setup on what you like in the race, but you can't, give yourself a faster car, better brakes or
Yeah, yeah.
something. But you can adjust. You can have it from a realistic uh setting to a video game setting where I don't know the
Okay.
exact differences, but it gives you choices that you can make.
Yeah.
How expandable is the track components? You buy additional track
Well, yeah,
pieces.
for like $80, I didn't look at the expansion packs yet on Amazon. $80, you can get like 8 more straights and 4 more turns or 6 more turns. So they have track expansions. But like I said, you don't have to have the track to race. The track just gives you the assisted driving.
Yeah.
If you can get used to driving without the assist, you could just race it on your slot car track if you were really bored. But
And just
you got to be skilled.
put the start finish track somewhere for you to drive over
Yeah,
to count the lap time and then just drive
right.
it around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
'Cause I
interesting.
saw on the German forum, freeslaughter.de, if you want to go look. There's a lot of Carrera hybrid activity over there and people sharing videos, and I saw one video where they're reviewing or talking about upcoming or newly released track packs that have hairpin turns as well
Yep.
as really wide radius turns. So they're coming out with more variety of tracks, so it's not going to look like you can only do Jeremy's type of track. You're going to have more options to do fancier tracks. And the track that they were showing it on looked looked pretty good as far as varying radius turns and hairpins and stuff like that. It looked like a very realistic racetrack with those
I'll
pieces in there.
I'll find the link. There's a German club that does a lot of this, and they have a huge track set up with this already. And they're racing 12 guys on the track at the same time.
Yeah.
And as you can expect, there's a crash in the front. If you can get around it, you're good to keep going. I mean, it looks interesting. I don't know how interesting it'll be, but hopefully it does well enough for them to keep making stuff.
Yep.
That's
All
all
right.
I got.
Questions on hybrid for people to ask? Moving
Oh,
on.
it's taking over. Wait, it's taking over digital. I just wanted to throw
Oh,
that out
of
there.
course. Yeah, no,
Whenever
I'm
I
going to
talk
start all
about
my notes
hybrid,
too.
I'm gonna have to put that disclaimer in my conversation.
I've already put all my digital stuff up on eBay.
Throw it away.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Is your
mean,
name Charles?
nobody will buy it. Anybody who knows about hybrid won't buy it, so I'll probably end up throwing it all in the garbage anyways. Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. Any other show and tells out there? What you got?
Good evening, guys. It's evening at our place. I don't know if you can remember, I think it was Mike and myself that discussed the Formula One, the polycar. Mike, is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So firstly, I just want to tell you that remember you showed a red Formula One. I also I've bought a red and a blue.
Mm-hmm.
So the blue is properly balanced. The red one, the nose is actually warped. I I discussed it with the guys that I bought it from, and they found that their whole stack that they've ordered from, I don't know where they ordered it from Italy. There were some of the red cars that were nicely balanced. In other words, the bodies weren't warped, and some were warped. So I'm going to get a new red body. The other thing that I want to show you guys, if it's okay with you, I didn't know how to and where to fit the LED, the infrared LED goodie. So if I may, I will just share this picture for you and some of the pictures that I've got.
Yeah, go for it.
So where is this? Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Where is it? Where is it now? Bloody thing is missing now. I can't see it.
Yeah, that's the bracket that you talked about. I can see it.
Yeah, okay, so oh, shit. Sorry, I've lost it. Let me share it again.
You're still sharing it, so you might just have to
Okay.
switch programs.
Yeah, okay, so if you can, my word, how can I get it bigger now?
It's pretty good as it is. I don't think you
Yeah,
have
we
We
to.
can
see
see
it very
clearly.
nicely.
Okay, so if you can see there's a little bracket that comes out there that you've got
Yep.
to screw onto the bottom of the chassis. I didn't think that was a nice, sexy design. I thought it was rather clumsy. So what I've done is I've drilled a hole. Can you guys see the little pointer there? I've
No.
drilled a hole right there at the point where my pointer sits, and I'll show you on another picture what I've done. Okay, let me stop
we're
share
still-
that guy.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm not so clued up with all these
That's
bloody
that's
things.
okay. If we all started same place trying to figure things out.
Yeah, okay, so I'm sharing that. Can you see that now?
Yep.
If you remember the previous diagram that I got from Polycar,
Yeah.
what I've done is I've drilled a hole right there. And I've fed the wire from the slotted chip into the floor fins. And the IR is sticking out there, and it works perfect. And if I can show another picture, which is, can you see that picture?
Yeah. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
pretty
okay,
clever.
so that's better. And this is what the car looks like on the plate. Can you see it now? Can you see that as well?
You
Well,
stopped your
stop the
second
share.
picture, but we don't see the third picture yet. Try again.
Okay, so I'll show you. There you are.
There we go.
Right, can you see that?
Yeah, we're looking at the front of the car.
Yeah, that's the front of the car, and the IR is sitting right underneath there, and it's out of the way, and it catches every lane change that is required. So I thought that was a nice, a better, sexier resolve to that funny little arm that they proposed we use.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yours
Mike, if you can see that this blue car, everything in front is totally level and balanced, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah. You need to get the McLaren one now, the papaya one, because they're faster. Of the three cars that I have, the McLaren
Yeah.
is the faster, so it's emulating real life.
Yeah, well, I've ordered the papaya one because in all the shops in South Africa, all the papaya ones are sold out. So I'm waiting for my orange or purple one to come in.
Yeah. It was funny. It's about 0.2 of a second faster, and there's absolutely no reason.
Are you sure about that?
That's
Okay.
we raced them. We raced the three of them in oxygen. In
Oh,
fact,
okay.
it should be up on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, okay. So the papaya one is I've ordered that, and I'm getting a new body for the Ferrari, or the red one.
Cool.
So that's that then. And if I may, that's all I wanted to show you guys. I just wanted to ask one or two questions here. What would be the best or a very good hand controller? But it's for home stuff. It's not real competition stuff. We don't have many competition areas in our area. So that's the one thing I want to ask is hand controller, and then what would be a very good border or border for a slot car, for the slot car table. Because I'm thinking between Perspex, wood, I just don't know what would be the best thing to use.
So on the controller question, this is for Carrera Digital, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
So your choices are basically a true speed Carrera, a true speed, I forget the actual model designation, but True Speed makes a Carrera digital compatible controller. Another company in the True Speed's in the UK. A company in the States makes a controller called Ramjet X, which is an excellent controller. Both of these controllers are basically just a nicer trigger controller, so it feels better ergonomically. It's got a nice
Yeah.
trigger, it's got smooth, and it's got the lane change button. The True Speed might have a sensitivity control that basically changes, how quickly the power comes on when you pull the trigger.
Mhm.
Frankenslot has the wired and wireless and wire or less versions of their controller, and it has some programmable features. I have one, but I haven't played with it very much. And then there's the slotted SCP controller you can get. That's probably on the high end. I wouldn't really go for that for just a basic
Yeah.
controller.
Yeah, we used to use Palmer hand controllers, but you can't get those things anymore.
And they wouldn't work with Carrera Digital anyways. So the
Yeah.
closest thing to a Parma is probably going to be the True Speed, because the handle is very similar to Parma. The Ramjet X handle is also very similar and very comfortable, but those two are the best basic Carrera Digital controllers without going too crazy like the slotted controller or the Frankenslot controller. Otherwise, you're stuck with Carrera stuff.
Thank
And
you, Greg.
as far as borders on your slot car table, you're talking about the table itself, not the track.
The table itself, the track, the track. What I'm doing is I use 2 mm plastic sheeting, white sheeting, which I clip underneath with those paper clip things. I can't remember that guy that said
Oh yeah, the binder clips, the black binder clips.
yeah, the black binder clips. I'm using that, and I just stick the logos and stuff on the inside, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm using.
So
But
for the
the
table,
actual thing, what I'm worried about is the table itself.
yeah. So for the table, how high is your table? If when you do you need to bend way over your table in order to pick up a car? Like bend your whole body
My
up against?
table, yeah, I think the table is 750 or 900 or 850, somewhere around that. It's like it's like a normal table. It's,
Like a
if
dining table?
well, I'm happy in the sense I'm lucky in the sense I'm tall, so I can stretch three-quarters across the table without any hassles. On the one end, I've got two tables next door to each other, which is then 2.4 meters. So there I've got a bit of a stretch to do, but the table is not of such nature that I've got to stretch high over it. I mean,
Yeah.
if I've got probably a 10 or 15 centimeter border around it, I'll easily stretch across it, no problem.
So I'll spotlight myself just to make sure everybody sees what I'm looking at. So this is my table, and as you can see, I used wood to do the walls around the table. Those are 1 by 8 or 10, something like that, so I can screw the bottom of the board into the side of the table.
Yeah.
The reason I went with this is obviously it does a really good job keeping the cars on the table. But pretty much everybody who races has a habit of putting their hands down on the wall or leaning on the wall while they're watching the race or, watching their corner to marshal cars. And leaning, when you bend over the track to pick up a car, your body is pushing hard up against that wall. So it had to be strong enough for people to lean hard against as well as, rest and lean on. That's why I chose wood, but obviously that's heavy, and expensive. So if you're not worried about that kind of thing, then you can use pretty much anything. A lot of people use gutter guards, leaf guard screens for gutters. It's basically just, a grid that's like, 8 or 10 inches, and then they just kind of staple
Yeah,
that or
yeah.
tack it to the side of the board, or Lexan, thin Lexan, so that you can see. But basically, whatever you come up with that you like, the looks and as long as if the only function is to keep the cars on, then as long as it's strong enough to keep the cars on, whatever works.
Yeah,
What you
no,
got,
I
Dewan?
agree with you. I think wood would be the better thing because I've seen when we race, guys
Oh,
lean
yeah,
onto the
kind of.
table. I don't have a wood guard around it yet. And the guys lean, and their hands is immediately onto the edge of the table. So wood
Yep.
would be stronger and better. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, there's Dewan showing off his
Y-
gutter guard screen type fencing to keep the cars on the table.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's not going to hold up if somebody leans on it.
Mm-mm.
Well, it's flexible to, it's not going to break either.
Well,
But
the things that you're holding them up with, what are
all the
those?
little paint stir sticks.
So those will break.
Yeah.
Then you got to replace them.
Yeah.
I must say it does look nicer than the wood, but I mean it's not going to hold out
But
that.
it does the job, and I tell you, because I have
Uh,
it. They're about 8 to 10 inches high off the track, and when people come crazy through my crash fence around the track itself and hit the table, that's yeah, it's done its job.
A little scale barbed wire, and they'd only do it once.
The gutter guard screen, like if you go to if you go to a hardware store in the States, you can get gutter guard screen, that's just in a roll, right? And it's like some kind of plastic. The cut edges on both sides are sharp, right? Because they're designed to go into the top of a gutter. So the edges don't need to be not sharp because that's its purpose, right? But in the use of them as walls for a slot car track, they're sharp. People will hurt themselves. So you basically got to put something along the top edge, like fold it over duct tape or something like that. And that's exactly what I did for my temporary tracks that, decade ago when I was going to my son's school to set up slot car tracks for their parties. That's what my first solution was that gutter guard on some corner bead that then could be, taped to the table in a big circular form to keep cars on the table. And the whole time I'm constantly telling kids to not put their hands on the screen, even though it hurts to do it, they would still do it, or they'd fiddle with it. And it's like, no, get your hands off. You're gonna mess it up, hurt yourself. So yeah, I would
Okay, if
never.
I may, I'd just like to share that's not the latest layout. Let me just share it quickly if it's all right with you guys.
Yeah.
Shit, no, it's not. But you'll get an idea what I'm talking about. There you are. Can you see the table?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what my setup looks like at the moment, except
Yeah.
for the bottom section here is now a 30-degree curve. It's a long, nice sweeping curve. The rest of the track is still as it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can
Since
see
since it's a permanent
sorry, go
table,
on.
I mean, it's basically it's not a temporary slot car table, right? So you're not having to put it away between racing.
No,
It's
no, this is a permanent setup.
yeah. So
Yeah,
for that,
so
I would go towards a wood wall like mine.
Well,
And you can always
yeah.
paint it. I've seen some really nice, landscape kind of painted on the inside of the wall to kind of make it not such a, just a sheer wood surface. I'm just not that kind of guy. I've seen it done, but that's if you want to.
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be more
yeah,
fun.
no, I'm also not very artistic, so I'll just leave it like that. And have some green on the inside, although I like blue on the inside. I think it's a Singapore track that's got those blue in. I like the blue in it. But there you are.
Yep.
You might want to think about putting foam on the board at the end of the long straight.
Yes, I've done that too. On the inside, on the inside of the wood, on the longest straight, right here in front of my body, there's some foam. So when the cars come off at full speed because they aren't paying attention, it bounces off. Much
Yeah,
less dangerous that way.
I'll do the same. I'll
Yeah.
do the same.
Yeah,
Or you can do what I did and take all my old tires that I'm not using and like Carrera tires and stuff like that and glue them together and make a tire wall. It works.
Yep.
Or if you want foam that looks like a fieldstone wall, use carpet underpadding.
Oh yeah,
Basically what mine is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay,
cool.
that's good. Yeah, Mike, I don't have enough worn or old tires yet, so that'll take a bit of a while.
I don't know how I gathered so many. I've got boxes, it seems, in the quest for
Send-
ultimate grip.
Yeah,
Yep.
send some across. Okay, guys, thanks.
All right. Moving on. What you got, Jim?
Well, I'm going to try to share a video. Oh, now it wants a password. What the? Okay.
Just wait, soon it'll be 2.
You see the blank screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. Over the weekend, my channel hit a milestone, 5,000 subscribers. So I prepared about a 14-second video just to say thank you.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks for
Congrats.
watching NorCal Slot Car Scene, the best slot car channel on YouTube. Jim,
She took that out of the swimming pool?
That's it.
That's got to be
You
AI.
hired an artificial AI to do that? How dare you?
Like we need more AI
Oh,
stuff.
no, I shot that myself. Really,
Yo,
really.
she's a neighbor who races with you. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's a
That
local.
was you. All right. Well, congratulations on that.
Yes,
and
congratulations.
that
Absolutely.
kind of reminds me to talk about. I think I'm going to stop doing the Zoom
Oh,
at 300. We're not going to stop. I'm not going to stop the Zoom chat, but I'm going to stop the YouTube because I, there's really no more reason for me to do it. There's plenty of much more entertaining guys out there raking in the subscriptions and having all this live interaction on their chat. Jesus, every other day there's another two or more guys doing a slot car talk show, right? So, and this one is not gaining any traction, so there's no reason for me to worry about being all Mr. Moderator guy anymore, right? So, after a few more shows, I'm gonna stop doing the YouTube. I'm thinking 300 will be the last show, but we'll keep chatting, right? So, all of you guys who like coming in here every week to shoot the shit, we'll still do that. I'll go ahead and pay another year of Zoom so that we can do long chats and all that. But it'll just be pure casual, no more worrying about what's live on YouTube or anything like that.
cool.
So now you know if there's a
What number are we
massive
at right now?
on YouTube of people going, "Oh my God, Greg, I can't possibly live without the YouTube playback," then I'll say, "Freaking join the Zoom that I've been trying to get everybody to do for the last friggin' 5 years now."
Greg, you scared me though. I thought the announcement was going to be this is going to be the worldwide career hybrid chat.
That'll be after 300. I'll start a new series
Right.
for that.
What
I've
number
already
we at right
registered
now?
that domain, so don't try.
Well, I'll just have you link to it.
Greg, don't we have the option of recording the Zoom show anyhow through Zoom?
I don't think there's any reason to.
No, but listen, it's 5 o'clock in the morning here in Australia, mate. Dennis and I don't always get up that early.
I mean, that's why there's the one in 5 hours from now, specifically for people down under, so that you don't have to be up in the middle of the night.
Greg, did you mean you're not going to put the broadcast on YouTube for later watching, or just get rid of the live?
Just at all.
Okay.
It's surprising. I get very few viewers for my stuff at all, and I'm not really upset about that. But you do get once in a while, you get somebody who's like, I did manage to do a live stream a couple weeks ago, and I got a comment on it. It's like, oh, now I know what that corner looks like because I gave it from a slightly different view. So people do appreciate it sometimes. So just to know that there's probably somebody out there that likes it.
I'm not saying there's nobody that likes it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's nobody that likes it. I mean, the people on YouTube right now, oh no, oh my God, why, oh why, that's too bad. Oh no, I can't live without it.
And what number are we on right now?
They can always join in.
This is 281, so 19 more episodes. But again, it's not worth my work and anxiety and stuff, right? It's just not, right? I like getting on and chatting with you guys and talking about all kinds of stuff, and that's why we're still gonna do that. And everybody out there in YouTube land can absolutely, and for crying out loud, if you don't already know this, if you've been chatting with us for very long, you'd know this already. But half of these guys will jump on the chat just at random times throughout the week to chat with other dudes. Like they'll say, "Hey, let's chat on Greg's Zoom channel chat thing." It's literally always working, right? If you use that link, you could literally do a Zoom chat with anybody else who uses that link anytime ever, right? Because we're using the same link that I did a year ago, right? It's the same link, so you can keep using that at different times, right? I get an email that says this person has joined the chat for the first person that joins every time, right? So if this person joins and then they leave and nobody else joins, then the next person or that same person that rejoins, I get another email, right? But if the same chat is active and multiple people join, right, I only get the one email, which is fine. But it is kind of funny every once in a while I'll see Tony has joined, Tony has joined, Tony has joined, Tony has joined, because he's hopping on and off to see whether there's anybody there yet, or somebody new, has never been on before. They're testing it. They get on and or somebody who doesn't realize that it's not the early show,
Wrong
it's the late
time.
show, or vice versa. They get on at the wrong time,
That's
and I'm
me.
like, you can keep trying, bro. Sometimes I've seen the try emails come in so many times that I'll jump on and say, there's no chat right now.
That's me, you're saying, Tony?
Not the early show. That's the main issue, is the early show versus the late show. But yeah, I mean, most of the time the guys ask, hey, can we use your chat to have our own little private chat? And I'm like, yeah, just go for it. I'm literally paying friggin' almost $200 for a year of Zoom in order to do
Really?
this for more than 40 minutes at a time.
Wow.
This is the only thing that I use that Zoom account for, is longer chats.
Right.
This chat, like I use it for nothing else at all.
Yeah, I have the same subscription. I think it's
happy for people to use
$17 a month, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you pay by the year, then it's
Yeah,
cheaper.
you pay by year. Exactly. So that's what I do. The same thing. I have the same thing.
Yeah. And I looked at free options. Some of the people might
I don't
have seen.
understand. So I don't understand, what is the problem? The live or the yeah, okay, then fuck the live.
Yeah,
and then
that's what
just
I'm-
record it and then put on your YouTube channel
No.
after the fact.
No,
that's the thing.
It's not the live, it's the putting it out there for everybody else to view at all, right? Because if I do that, then I have to at the very least be Mr. Moderator, right? And kind of keep things moving, right? Not let somebody ramble too long, not let there be too much dead air, have something that we're actually talking about the whole time, right? Whereas if we're just on here chilling, then we talk about slot cars, of course, but there's pauses of a minute or two before people talk about whatever, right? So me not having to do the Mr. Moderator thing for 2 hours every week, that's the main thing, right? It's not that I dislike it, it's that I am tired of doing it.
I mean, there could be different options, right? Where basically we could take turn in case. But the other thing also, like once it's recorded and then it's not the live thing, and then you put on YouTube. If there is a dead points, I just skip. For instance, even now when you are recording, right? I'm skipping all the shit that Jeremy put with his freaking ranking of nonsense, because it's nonsense, right? So I don't like it. Just move it.
Yeah.
Or like when somebody talks about a lighting kit and they go on for an hour and you're like, who's gonna do this?
Yeah.
That's what, I
play nice,
yeah.
guys.
I got you. I feel you.
Yeah. I mean, if you
can
don't like
you can
one
time
part,
shift it, then you can just skip ahead and then
correct.
watch
So
what
when
you
you don't
want.
like, that's the thing. The live you cannot do it, and I think that's where there is the more pressure. If you want to make something that is, nice packaged.
Well, the live can be, I can just let the live be like that, right? I could just not be Mr. Moderator and just let it be like our normal casual thing, right? Sure. But
what I'm saying is that there is a lot of good information in this chat that I think it's worthwhile to record and to put on, on YouTube for people to look. And
okay,
yeah, I mean,
let me
if
say
you want to
say
get
it this way, hold on, let me say it this way. As far as the work that I have to do, live is way easier than recording and then uploading. So if it's going to end up on YouTube, it'll be live. Right? Because then it can be played back later, right? All of the stuff can still be played back. There's no reason for me to record it and then upload it. We can still do it live. But the other issue with, doing it live or recorded or whatever, having it be on YouTube is watching what we say, what we talk about. If you start publicly maligning some business for whatever reason, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about, Gio, then that's on there. right? And I kind of want to be able to do that without having to worry about whether it's on in perpetuity or I gotta go and edit it out as I've had to do once or twice in the past.
Oh,
So we
Or
need a disclaimer card at the beginning. The views expressed are not necessarily those of the host. So
They're still out. They're still out there though.
yeah, it's still out there, so it leaves you
Yeah, but
open
if,
to irritated.
knowing what we're talking about, I think anyway. I mean, okay, Greg. I mean, yeah, I think it's up to. I mean, one of the stuff is that we should also, I think, chime in. I mean, in the Zoom fees, for instance, because I mean,
it's not
we
about
could
the
all
money.
share. I
It's
mean,
not,
I
not even
understand
about
that,
the
but it's a part of the thing. And then, I mean, if it's too much work, it's too much work, right? I mean, what can you do?
I mean, we can take turns letting other people moderate, but again, as soon as I turn off the live and people know that it's not, they immediately get more comfortable, right? Half of these guys will talk that don't ever talk during the broadcast because whether they're consciously aware of their anxiety or stage fright or whatever, they just don't, right? But as soon
Or
as they
maybe
know,
because you are too much kind of moderating too closely. So when you disappear, then basically everybody relax. I don't know.
well,
Anyway,
it's
I
not
have a show in
right away.
Dell.
Maybe I'll change my mind. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, there's some participants are, on the FBI wanted, most wanted list, like Jeremy, so.
Yeah, that too.
Witness protection.
if I start moderating, we're going to start putting ads in for liquor and booze. So be thankful that I'm not in charge.
I mean, as long as it's a scotch is good.
I'll take kickbacks. I don't care.
I'm thankful every day you're not in charge.
You're damn straight you are.
All right, I think we talked about that enough. That was not my intention, but I guess I should have expected it. Moving back to slot car topics. Gio has his hand up. What you
Talking about the light kit. So this is gonna be half an hour of how to set up. So Jeremy, you can go if you want to skip forward. Okay, so the guys in Singapore have kind of organized kind of a race for the Nissan GTR GT3 cars from Slotted in preparation also for a visit from Maurizio in the club. So I was there. I said, why not? Let's prepare a car. So I did this white kit. So this is the second generation of this GTR car. So I prepared mine. So the minimum body weight for these cars is 24 grams. And so as usual, I try to kind of remove weights from the body, although it's already pretty thin, and try to kind of display that where I think it's more optimal. So this was a starting point, and this is where I end up with. I hope you guys can see it. The amount of grams, I lost 2 grams there on the body, and then the different bits and bolts, kind of reducing even further. The wing, half of the weight. So basically, I end up with the kind of roughly 10 grams of body, excluding all the other details like lenses and glasses and in cockpit. So I went. There was no specific regulation on be a real livery, so I went for a fantasy livery, and I decided to go with something that is a bit Japanese themed. So I saw a picture of F-15 or Mitsubishi. I think it should be. It's Mitsubishi. So basically, Japanese F-15 that had like a dragon across the wings. I decided to take inspiration from that. So the all of this stuff is basically kind of mask and then painted. Also the head of the dragon here. I mean, my wife. So I showed the dragon to my wife, and then she basically kind of draw it, and then I asked her to draw it in scale on mask tape. I think I have, and then basically I just cut the mask, put there, and then apply black. I don't know, yeah. So this is what it kind of look like. So it's on a piece of Tamiya white mask tape. So she drawn it, and then I went with the scalpel and kind of cut through, and then so basically this is it's a positive or the negative. Anyway, so this is what was left of the mask that then I kind of used to put on the car, and then to kind of paint it black. Then, although again it was not required, I kind of install lights to make the car more visible, but I mean nothing too fancy. I mean more or less the usual stuff that I normally do nowadays. The interesting part was that this race was on a polycar track, digital. I'm gonna share that. So this was my first time running on a polycar track. So as I said, it's digital, which means that there are adapters and that the actual digital pieces are Ningo lane changers. So the first impression is that the polycar track is really, really good, really smooth, really kind of, well, I would say that I had like the same kind of feelings of like when racing on bicycle electrics, that more or less you can be consistent when you're going around, not like with the Ninko that you do 10 times over the same corner, and at the 11th time then doing exactly the same thing, the car comes off because depending how it's bouncing around. So much more consistent than Ningo, very smooth. The surface that looks so, how to say, artificial, actually in real life is not that bad. I could not say that I wasn't distracted by it. So when you start racing, you don't care. So the layout is, I mean, it's pretty, seems like very simple, but actually is, I mean, it's easy to learn, but if you want to push, is really, I mean, there are a couple of interesting corners, especially for instance, the hairpin around at the end here. And each lane you have to drive a bit in a bit different way. I really enjoy the like lane. I mean, 2 and 3, the middle one are kind of pretty equivalent, but the number 1, the one close to the pit, is also very flowy. And the only kind of a heartbeat was especially around these hairpin. But once you kick to it, it was get used to it. Actually, it was pretty good. Took a bunch of the shots. They managed to kind of have a bit of how to say, kind of bit of parabola on this corner up here. So which again makes kind of each lane driving a bit different from each other. The car was pretty quick in qualifying, or not qualify, practice actually. So it could do 6.46. Roy, that is the other guy that is pretty quick, had like kind of a couple of tenths behind me. Vincent also pretty good, but it was like 4 tenths. So this at least in practice, where I was using the tires that I kind of threw, then I had a bit more time because I prepared them home. So then this is the lineup for the qualifying. With kind of a bunch of shots. As you can see, it's kind of mix and match. I mean, there are a couple of cars that are the livery one, and the other ones are the one that kind of prepared by mainly Vincent, I think. So this is a Vincent car, the green one, the Green Hornet. So this white here is Roy, and then this another member that was another car painted by white kit painted by Vincent. Vincent and Roy basically run the club. So after qualify, yeah, I could not manage to do my not even 6.6 basically. And these are new tires because they were like spec tires. Although I had the time to glue and through them, I didn't spend as much time as when I was home. So at least this is what yeah, I mean I could not push as good as when I had the other tires for practice. And then the race format was 45 minutes. Each minute basically there is a kind of a stop and start again. And if you come off during a minute, you are taking out, which I freaking hate. So it was really frustrating at the end because it's not really racing. Like it just, if you see your opponent coming off, then you just go very slow and you cannot, there is no need to make kind of mistakes. So these are the starting grid, and these after 45 minutes how we end up. So I came like second because again I had quite a lot of ops. Roy first and Vincent third, and this is basically the podium for the free cars. So I know the plan is that when Maritz will be there, maybe we'll try to do a proper team racing. So with endurance, so no stop, no brakes, like Disca, proper Disca racing. So we'll see how that goes.
Where was this again?
Singapore.
Singapore, okay.
So these are the guys.
Yeah,
The
I hadn't
guys,
seen that truck yet.
and so, yeah, I mean, these are Vincent has been posting on sort form about issues with the oxygen kind of run off cars and stuff like that. So I think Maurizio has kind of sent them. At least I know that there are two firmware versions that try to solve a problem that I believe is an issue with the brake. So it's an issue related to controller losing connection with the dongle, I believe, but also affects how the controller then sends the brake signal. And actually, during the 2 days I was there, so we did a lot of testing. And first day, no problem at all. The second day, I put the car on the track and activate SP3, started going around, and I felt like it was costing. So there was no brakes. So I checked the knob, and the knob was set as my normal level of brakes. But again, going around, there was no brakes at all. So the car was just costing. Well, okay, so I think we restart the what's called it the PC Lab Calendar. And then my ID kind of popped up, but also kind of reset the controller as well. And then everything was okay until I went over the straight, the main straight that is pretty, I think it's 8 meters plus. And when I left the trigger, the just car went flying off. And I believe that it's not kind like a runway that the car simply accelerate. I believe again that was the problem with the brakes because when we put the car back, again, the car was costing. Reset the controller and then was fine. And this was, as I said, early hours of the not the race, I mean of the day for the race. So let's say it was evening, right? But it was just the beginning, and then no other problem at all. So no issue. So it's kind of weird and random, but seems that it's much better than it was before.
And they don't use the brake options in PC Lab Counter for oxygen.
I don't know PC Lab Counter, so I don't know what option is that.
There is a cars database, and it might be in the drivers, either cars or drivers, but basically in one of those two databases you can set how much braking the car has. And a while ago I accidentally had forgotten that I was testing and left cars set to very little or no brakes. right? Because I didn't think that that would override the SEP settings, but it did, right? So the first time I had that race with the guys with my printed cars, they were all crashing into each other because none of them had brakes. So once I realized that, I went back and I made sure basically to make the SEP have whatever brakes you want, all of the cars or drivers settings where it has the brake option has to be set for maximum braking. And then you can turn it down on the controller. Obviously, it's not fixed maximum braking. And of course, the chips have their own braking and power settings, but I expect that you guys weren't using that. But that's a possibility, right? If for some reason that setting got used and forgotten about or something. But the fact that resetting the controller fixed it kind of tells me that's not what the problem.
Well, I don't know if it's a bug on PC Lab Calendar, maybe, or because so I don't know how it works, but so I think it was already running. It was maybe in qualifying or whatever kind of mode, right? So I joined in, trying on my controller. My D didn't pop up, and that's when I started. Went around, and that's where basically I had the caustic. Okay, then I don't know what Vincent did. I don't know if we kind of stop and start the session, and then my D was up there, and then initially was okay, and then I had that kind of again strange behavior. So I don't know if it's kind of a glitch.
Yeah.
In PC Lab Calendar in that case.
Certainly could be.
Although, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, apart from that, then the rest of the race was okay. No, not. I mean, nothing that I really didn't notice myself. There were a bunch of crashes. Even I had a crash that the car went on the floor because I lane changed on the main straight, and I'm using on the Scalextric ones where I can go full throttle and the car just sticks on it. Not on freaking Ningo lane changers. They're freaking like a wall, basically.
Hey,
I mean,
Misty,
I don't know if you saw the picture. There is a.
Okay, guys, if I may chip in, I've got to go. I'll see you guys
Okay.
in 2 weeks' time. Cheers,
All right,
eh?
have a good one. So we use, or I did digital IROC with the guys again on Monday, and after having changed all the tires to Scale Auto sponge rubber and making sure they all had plenty of grip, and I also made sure that all the braking settings in PC Lap Counter were correct. I still had to do kind of some gymnastics to make it work the way that we race. Yeah, you're showing the lane changer positions.
So was basically one of these ones, and you see
Yeah.
there is a no wall here. And so a car went boom.
Onto concrete.
Yeah.
So, as a reminder, when my club races, we do crash and burn 1 minute plus 1 minute per heat, right? So we race a minute. If you crash, you're off. You get put back on after that minute. And we race a second minute. If you crash, you're off for the rest of that minute. So I wanted to replicate that as closely as I could with PC Lap Counter for the digital racing, but it does not have any features that enable that to happen. And I've gone through everything possible and even posted on the PC Lap Counter forum asking for help with some way to do it. But it can't be done except with oxygen and other kinds of digital. You can restart the heat without losing the current heat progress. So that's what I tried the last time we did it. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just set, 1 minute heats, and then, I'll just restart the heat, and have PC Lap Counter controlling everything. And that failed because if I restart the heat, then it uses the next minute of the total race time. So the whole rotations ended halfway because I basically used all the rotations for the first half of the heats by redoing each heat. So after some finagling and finessing and testing, I determined that the best way to do it was using the DS hardware to control the power, because my track is set up that even for digital, the DS controls the power to the track. So using that like we do for analog, the DS had 1 minute set for each heat. And I told PC Lap Counter that each heat was 2 hours long. So that we would never ever run out of time in the PC Lap Counter situation. So for heat one, basically I just started the race. In the first heat, we ran a minute using the DS, put the crashers back on, ran another minute using the DS, and then I forced the rotation to the next heat, had to answer 2 verification questions because it wanted to make sure I was changing the heat when it wasn't over, because it's 2 hours of heat it's waiting to do. So every heat we basically had to click, force rotation, yes, okay, get fucking do the rotation like I told you to. And then run another, 1 minute plus 1 minute. And then uh, that actually worked really, really well. Got through all the heats, got to the end, and I still don't know how to get PC Lap Counter to show a race finish report that shows the finishing order based on laps. You can run all kinds of reports that show every kind of data, like literally every lap time for every lap, for every lane, for every person, for every heat. It's all there, and you can do all kinds of reports for it. But I couldn't figure out how to get it just to show me the 10 people who were racing and who was on top based on the number of laps they received.
So I think that one is the screen as during the racing, but after basically the time is up. And maybe the feature here is that the controller keeps tab of the laps, and that's why it's not like restarting an heat where you change people, right? It's so everybody at the same time all the
Well, yeah, I
time
mean, it
over there.
recorded everything. It was there, right? I got it to display the final results, right? But it was in order of lap time. Fastest lap
Okay, like a
is the
qualifying.
way it was ordered. So I basically had
Oh,
to list and look at all the laps and figure out, why is it showing me?
Greg,
Yes, sir.
did you have it on practice or quali in the one window? There's one window that you do for the race only.
When you set up a new race.
Yeah, when you set up a new race, there's a place where you can say practice or
Qualifying.
practice, qualifying, or a race. And if one of those is checked, it'll set it up with times rather than finishing order.
That's probably what I missed. Oh, I'm loading
Having done that before.
That's half the reason I said it, because I figured somebody out there would know what doofus mistake I'm making in this.
But every minute or every 2 minutes, do you change the grid? So you have like 4 people racing.
Yeah, when you click rotate for the next heat, then it would bring in the new person, and the other 3 people would move to the other car. So it
Because
only
this
does
is digital, right?
in digital, yeah.
So yeah, it is at your track.
At my track, yeah.
So you had like 10 people, but you only want to race 4 cars at a time.
Yeah.
And it's like team racing. So if I'm racing car yellow, when I jump in on the car yellow, is basically counting the laps from the previous guy or reset.
So when you click rotate, basically all the laps that you accumulated on red move to yellow, and then you drive the yellow car. So what I ended up doing, instead of putting every car at the starting grid, only the red car went to the starting grid for the next heat, because that was the person just coming into the red car for the first time, to the race the first time. All the other cars moved to where the other car was. So my positions are red, yellow, blue, and white. So at the end of a heat, the white car would move to where the blue car was. because the person who was just driving the blue car was now going to drive the white car, right?
So
And
basically,
the
you're
blue car went to yellow, a yellow car went to red, red went to the grid. Because after the first heat, after the first time a person crosses the line at the start of their first lap, it's a 0 lap. So that's fine for the first heat and for the red car being the first one, first time a person goes around. But every other car would get a lap the next time they crossed, So if I put them all back on the grid, then the red car would start with a 0 lap, and then the other cars would get 1 lap just from crossing the line at the beginning of the lap. So that's why I decided to move the cars around. So basically, it was pretty much just like an analog race where a driver would move their car from one lane to the other, except changing cars instead of lanes. So
and basically the laps are following the driver, not the car.
Yeah. And I can't get PC lap counter to work on this computer because it's not registered. Oh wait, there it goes. Hold on. It's working. New race. Race. Okay, so there's check boxes for qualifying session or practice session.
Yeah.
I never checked those, but I'll go look to see if I accidentally checked one of those. But I assume if I don't click qualifying session or practice session, then it's a race.
Correct.
Yeah. I must have accidentally clicked the qualifying session or something.
Yeah. Check to see that would be the only reason that I've had that happen.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
See what happens.
Because at the end of the race, I hit, race report, whatever. There's like 10 different options, and you got to pick the one that actually just shows the basic information rather than every freaking lap. And that one was by fastest lap, so that would make sense that it was a qualifying report rather than a race report. Something for next time. But the guys very much more enjoyed it this time. I mean, they bitched and moaned about, not understanding how to properly change lanes and stuff like that. But it was much less of a crash fest because before I would put all the cars on the grid for every heat and they would just slam into each other right off the bat. But after that first heat, the cars were pretty much all spread around the track and they were much less crashing, which was fantastic. Anywho, I think I'm done bitching and moaning. What you got, John?
Oh, well, just a follow-up to what Jeremy was asking about, but I think he's left us for the moment.
Yes.
Oh, there he is. Okay, Jeremy. So here is your Camaro. This is the Scalextric's Camaro you were, right?
Yeah.
And I just took the body of the Firebird out of the box and live on the air, while we can still do this, let's see if it fits. So you can see how the all right. Okay, so there's the Camaro body away. Here is the Firebird body, and holy schnockers, Batman, it fits.
How's the rear wheels?
Yeah, we can't see it. Hold it up a little
Okay,
higher.
you gotta hold it up.
Yeah, no, sorry, you have to take the front valence out, but other than that,
Yeah,
it works.
That looks pretty close, yeah.
that's pretty good. All right.
And then,
So there you
do the
go.
body posts line up? That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
no, not unfortunately, you'll have to put body posts in the model kit. Yeah, it would have been that would have been neat. Actually, you know what? They're darn close. You see the two body posts here in the back,
Mm-hmm.
and then there are two pins here in the back.
Mm.
Might be able to use that. So there you go. But yeah, it works, and even the track width is very, very good.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Wonder if the Scalextric cockpit would then fit inside there somehow, and then you could have a racing cockpit in there. I'm sure you could make it work.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, and then you've got the roll bar and everything else that goes along with it, right?
Yeah.
It'll be close. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing, John.
No problem.
Alrighty then. Any other racing anybody want to talk about? We kind of did Club Corner, so we're still doing Club Corner. Go ahead,
You
Dan.
can't have a cockpit of a Camaro inside of a Firebird.
It's the cockpit from a Scale Electric, not a Camaro. So
I agree though. I would use the
same.
model kit interior because it would, I'm sure it would work.
All right, go ahead, Big Dan.
Oh, nice.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, yeah. So just to get Jeremy in tune with hybrid racing. Guten Morgen, mein Herren und Jeremy. Ik heb... And now I'll get back to English. So just for those who may not have seen the Lagana Seca track before, that's it. And as we were talking about earlier, flat track racing was really only a couple of straights, and you got some tight little bits that may not suit, that don't really suit themselves to your intense flat out wing car racing. But as I said, the cars that they've been trying out have been going okay anyway. So as you may recall, we had quite a break of about 3 months while Dave was working at the other end of the state, but we've been fairly regular fortnightly racing. So here we were in late September and started off with under 2 litre cars, or Revo slots. I didn't race in this particular race because I didn't have a car on the day. So for bit of a mixture there, just about one of everything by the look of it. There's a Datsun, an Alpha, an Opel, and a BMW. Yeah. So, and it was a day. Oh, can you see the totals there? Pardon me. The panels in the way now. I've got the other. Yeah. So that the scores weren't all that flashy, and that was probably because people hadn't been racing for a while, and the track mightn't have been at its optimum grip level. So. Anyway, some close racing for the first couple of. Jason's one of the newer guys, so he did pretty well to run second. Next up was Sideways Group 5. I did go in this one and was fortunate enough to finish in first position. And looking at the scores, was pretty close all around, really. Only 4 laps between the first 3. Although I suspected Dave and Scotty were playing as Chris Walker would say, silly buggers, just waiting for one another so they could have some head-to-head racing. So my result flattered there against what the real situation was. And last race of the day, slotted Group C's. I've just got an idea that even though my car is the one in the middle of the Mazda, is in the second position, I got an idea that from memory that I did actually finish a few feet ahead of Scotty, so again, anyway, good to be on the podium, and there we go. So we had Dave must have had some troubles there because he's usually pretty quick, and so Scotty and I are very close there. And that was it for that week. Then just last Saturday we ran again, so we had 6 racing this time. Dave's father was back from his travels up in the north of Australia, and again, good. Looks like Opals were pretty half the field were Opals there by the look of it. Okay. There's the scores. Peter is usually pretty slick in this class, and he just got a close win over Scotty with Dave not far behind, and me consistent with 27s, but not really on the pace compared to the other guys. So, and that was just if Phil's still on the chat, there's a couple of the Opals there. Look at how the front end on the car to the right is actually modified so that most of the spoiler seems to have been gone. So, and the car actually caught on the track, one of the track joins. It was that low going down the straight, and did a bit of a bit of a kangaroo hop there, and final race of the day was this week was was that the final? No, second race of the day, Group 5s again. All Lancia front row. I remember we've talked about this with Jim sometimes, and the Lancias, on the northern side of the world don't flatten with their results, but they seem to go well on our track. And even though the one I race is the Monte Carlo, of course, in the middle, but when I can get some grip, it seems to get around all right. So moving on to the results, Scotty had a pretty comfortable win, while myself, Peter, and Dave were pretty close again with just a lap covering the three of us. And then the final race of the day was LMP, a mixture of brands there. You've got actually, well, not much of a mixture. You got 3 Revo GT1s, 2 on the outside of the front row and 1 in the middle of the last row. My Spirit Courage body is running a 3D printed chassis, the one in the red and white car, and then slotted car in the middle on the front and slotted Porsche on the back row. And the results, Dave was pretty hot in this in that Revo car, so he had just a close win over Scotty. Scotty had a few off, so it might have been even closer. I did my traditional horrible start on yellow lane, no grip at all, but I seemed to come right towards the end of the race, so that was a good way to finish. So there was just the fast laps for the day, and so there was Scotty's 5.41 was a new track record for the class. So I was nowhere on the pace. I just basically limped around drove on eggshells for 2 brackets to get some decent scores. And I think that's about it for racing from North Tas in Tasmania.
Hey, I had a question for you. On your race management system, you had a lot of ties there. Do you guys keep track of how do you do your you do sectional on the track? How do you determine the winner? Because
well, we just generally eyeball it at the end of the race. I mean, we leave our car where anyone who finishes before the last heat leaves their car in their finishing position. So their finishing position on their last lap, the car sit, and then you so for instance, if I going back to the picture of the track, which I'll just do quickly. So for instance, from my memory, in the race where I just beat Peter, I finished up here on my last lap. He finished back here, so we don't ride down the sections. We don't have the track, but yeah, my car after I finished would have been just sat in there on the infield, while Peter was in the last heat and he finished down here. So we looked and said, okay, we've both got 85 laps. Who's 85 or 86 laps? Who's in front on the last lap? So that's just
okay.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And just for the record, Dan, you're the only guy I call a silly bugger.
Oh, are you on?
Everybody else is a silly bugger. Not a bugger.
Silly booger. Yeah, no racing this week, but there'll be no rest for the wicked, because Jim Rose and his cronies up at Modesto will be keeping me awake all night with their Friday night legends racing, and then they've got an enduro on the Saturday, I think. So I'll have plenty of slot car content to keep me entertained. Okay.
Sure. All right, thanks, Dan. What you got, Mike?
Well, actually, I had a little bit. Shiggy was out with COVID this week, unfortunately, so he didn't race. But we have a new renter in our property, and she expressed interest. So she and a friend of hers came over for instructional stuff. and we did a couple of 50-lap races, and it was great fun. They really enjoyed it, so they're probably going to be back to race. So I'm pretty excited about that part of it.
Yeah.
And the other part is kind of a show and tell. I've been struggling with this adapter situation a little bit. By the way, if you just use copper tape to across the rails and then across the adapter, it will get hot enough that it will melt the plastic on the Scalextric.
What? Wow.
Yeah. So you can see on one of my lane changers, it actually got hot enough to melt the plastic because of the resistance and lack of power laws. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is, besides powering up the lane changers, I'm putting, you can see I've got 4 pins in there instead of just the 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to drill holes in the adapter and try and run it across that way so that I can get power across the adapter. So I'm almost getting to the point where I'm going to buy 2 more lane changers, though.
Polycar, yeah.
Yeah, Polycar lane changers. I'm almost to that point, but I have to use the adapters for the pit lane. And actually, talking today or talking with Gio on earlier, it put a alarm on my head to check out the Polycar pit lane. And I went, oh, I wonder if I could use a Polycar adapter and then the Ninco pit lane, which is available with oxygen stuff from Professor Motor.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility of doing it that way. That way I wouldn't have to mess around with the Scalextrics to Polycar adapters for that. So we'll see. And they're relatively inexpensive. They're $80 for the lane changer, but I don't know if they have left or right or if they're changeable.
They're not.
They're not. So it's only right hand.
Right side. Yeah.
Yeah. Poop. Well, then I'd have to have probably 2 pit lanes in order to do it because I don't have enough straight length with a pit lane available to do it. Anyway, I'll work that out and see what happens. But those are the 2 things I had going on. But I've got to drill out the holes, where it's blocked off.
Yeah.
At the end there, you can see one side has an indentation to hold the pin, and the other one is solid. So I'll drill that out, and so the pin fits in there, and that way I can solder up the wires to it and make it work without putting in stuff. I tried a couple other things. I used some really flat screws and stuff, but it gives too big a hump to go across. So I'm going to see what happens. If I've got the lane changers powered up, I think I'll be okay, that there won't be so much of a voltage drop or a current drop across them because I'll have power on both sides, both the lane changer and the track itself. So I won't have to carry a lot of amperage across that particular spot. So I can probably get away with using the copper tape just across the adapters. So
was the heat at the join or was it somewhere along the tape?
It was at the join, yeah. It was at the join on the lane changer from the other side. So it's the power to the lane changer that was causing the current draw.
And this was tape laid over top of the rail?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what did you do to help the contact between the copper and the rail?
I tried poking holes and stuff in it, and it didn't make any difference.
Yeah.
So
that's where the heat's coming from then is trying to go through the adhesive.
Yeah, there's too much resistance with the adhesive on it, despite it being quote
conductive.
Conductive, yes.
Yeah.
So
what about, so you put the pins in both sides of the Scalextric piece, right?
Yes.
So if you wrap the copper into the hole,
yep,
and then push the pins in, then the pin will be touching copper, not adhesive.
Correct.
And that's what you're going to do?
Yeah.
Okay. That should work way better.
So what I'll do is I'll have the the wires, these wires, have a piece of braid attached to it, thin braid.
Yeah.
And I'll fold it over the end and then poke the bullet part of it through that. And that should give enough connection that I should be okay. And then the other side, you get what I mean?
I mean, I'm trying to understand how that is going to give power to the copper tape.
Well, these are, the copper tape will be over it besides that. So it will give a connection
not
between
the
the two.
adhesive. Not the adhesive.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So you're still going to wrap it around, but you're also going to put that piece of braid with a wire on it as a tap.
Yes.
So you're going to have both copper tape and that braid with a wire stuffed into the hole that then the pin is going to be stuffed into.
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll see how it works.
Yeah.
The problem, actual reason, come to think of it, it isn't just a connection that I'm putting the bullets in there. It's because the adapter at the end that goes into Scalextrics, where you're going into it, the slot is wider. So the guide flag would run into the empty hole.
Yeah.
And that hopefully that the bullet will ease it into the hole.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works. But that was the main reason I was doing the bullet thing. I don't think there'll be enough voltage drop across the copper tape, even with adhesive, to make a difference. Plus, you'll be sliding over it, so it's not, you might experience a slight drop in power, but I don't think it'll be enough as the speed you're traveling.
Yeah, no. I mean, as long as both ends of the copper tape are getting power directly to the copper and not through adhesive, then it should be
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, let us know.
I will.
Moving on, what you got, Jim?
Well, as Big Dan said, we do have a race this weekend, and there's a Friday night regular race for Abarths, and Sunday, Big Dan said it was Saturday. The race is actually Sunday. It's a 6-hour enduro at Motown, and it is a spec race for slotted Acuras and Oricas, which are basically the same car. So you have to run one of those, and pretty much everything is stock except for tires and guide. And we did our first night, 6 hours. 2 hours are under the lights or in the dark. And this was our first night practice. So it was actually quite a bit darker than it looks. The camera is making it looks more like that pretty much over the whole track. So we've got the light kits in it, and we're going to give it a go and see what happens.
Very cool.
Interestingly enough, my car was virtually the same speed lap time wise in the dark as it was with the lights on.
Yep.
As
Some
far as
people
the
go
lap times I was able to get with the car.
Yeah. A lot of
You're
people go faster.
you're driving by muscle memory. You know where the turns are. Everybody's been there a lot. You're kind of driving by memory. You can see the car, so you have a visual. But I thought it was pretty easy to drive at night with the lights.
Yeah. Like I was saying, a lot of people go faster at night.
I am going to do some things because we're using the NSR light kit. It's a spec. You have to use that one. I purchased some fiber optic rod that is, transmits light when you put light in the end and it lights up the tube basically. So I'm going to fit that to the front of the car. So I pretty much have a light bar across the front instead of just two little bitty headlights, and hopefully make it stand out from the other cars.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, but because I'm going to end the show with this. Jeremy wanted me to show this, and because we're changing the format of the show to Carrera Hybrid, of course. He wanted me to show you guys the grid system with Carrera Hybrid Racing. So the cars are gridded up, and the race is starting. There we go. how slow they are. That's realistic scale speed right there. That track is big. These
So
guys are
that's
definitely
6
driving
cars?
6 cars, it looks like, yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently you can do 12 or more. I don't know what the limit actually is.
And is that the standard width for the track itself, or is that a wider track for the 6 cars?
No, that's hybrid track. That's whatever.
Uh-huh.
That's what Carrera makes. So we okay, good enough. And on that note, we're gonna end the live stream. So everybody wave goodbye until next week. Bye. Bye bye. Bye bye
See you
bye
next
bye.
time.
Bye
I'm going to
bye.
have something to eat.
Bye bye bye. Me too.
Yeah, Tony.
Time to
Bye.
go.
Dale, I
Make
was
some
hoping to